As parents, we have run away from our role and we have left them to technology. When a child cries, we'll hand them a gadget to keep quiet. When a child does not eat their food, we shall give them a gadget so they can eat their food. When a child is throwing a tantrum, we shall do the same so they can calm down. And when we don't want to be disturbed, we shall put on a screen so the children are distracted from needing our attention. This replacement of human parenting to making the internet our babysitter or childminder is exposing our families and children to unspeakable tragedies, ranging from extreme violence, suicidal tendencies, and crime fetishes. Before they get extreme, of course, they start off as very simple and very harmless. Countless hours on the gadget. Before we know it, our children are infatuated with these things they see on these gadgets, and they're thinking, how would that look like in real life? Would I pull it off if I tried it? As for the older kids, they spend their entire time on these social media platforms. They start to find identity crisis. They don't know how to deal with their image because all they see on the internet is this kind of perfected image, and they start to compare themselves, wondering, am I good enough? Am I like that? How will I ever be like that? They are depressed, they're mentally disturbed because now they're looking for approval on the internet, where it's judged according to algorithms, likes, and it is messing their heads up. And parents come back home when they're too exhausted to even check on these older kids. They stay awake for longer hours, and even when they're awake in the day, they're really dysfunctional. Then you start to hear parents complaining, oh, my child is very withdrawn, my child won't come out of the house. It's tainting their image because what they're seeing there, they think is real, they think is what they should be like, and they're being depressed by the mere fact of knowing that they can't be like that. For the very young ones, their attention span is distorted. Due to this high frequency, fast-paced media, they lose interest so easily. You go to schools and you hear teachers reviewing children to their parents, and they be like, oh, yeah, he would understand in class, but the problem is I can only have his attention for just a few minutes. And it's true. Children's concentration does grow over time as they grow, but also overexposing them to these gadgets does not help things. It actually just impedes that growth. We need to normalize the outside interactive play. In fact, we need to prioritize. Do you know, these days, children even ask us for what they can do because they're so bored. Mommy, what can I play? Because we haven't encouraged them to get creative, to get innovative when they're outside. When we encourage that kind of play and they go outside, they're making a game out of nothing, and they're telling you, oh, we are playing this kind of game, how does it work? These are the rules of it, this is how you play it, but you didn't tell it to them. But that came to them because they were able to think outside of the four walls or whatever number of walls that we put them inside of. Like